Hey everybody, this is Dead Winter Dead with another Battlefield 4 video for you. Today we're taking a look at some Rush gameplay on Gulmud Railway. And we are the defenders. For the my first life here, I'm going to run the recon class just real quick with the tugs and the motion sensors and a suppressed ACWR. Now I usually don't run recon. I almost never ran recon in previous Battlefield games, but I'm finding it a lot more useful class and a lot more flexible class than they have been in previous games, especially since that they now can use the carbines and some of the other weapons as opposed to just being kind of pinned down to sniper rifles and DMRs. But I really like the fact that you can run them with these carbines, and that these carbines are actually really decent weapons. You know, they stand toe to toe with a lot of the assault rifles, and it's just they're excellent weapons. So it makes running recon a more viable choice if you want to run the recon class and use recon gadgets instead of just being, you know, your prototypical sniper hanging out, camping a mountain, camping a crane, or whatever. I mean, you can run shotguns and get right in people's faces. You can run your carbines, and you become really an effective force on the battlefield. Now this gameplay here, we are the defenders, and this east-west road right here that you can see in front of me, it stretches all the way in front of me to the other side of me. It runs from east to west, I believe. And the unique thing about this Gulmud Rush map is the fact that every set of MCOMs, every stage, the defenders are in a unique position because they actually have elevation on their side, which seems to be kind of rare. That doesn't happen a whole lot. I mean, if you think about some of the other maps, you've got Gillian Peaks, one of the China Rising maps. That first set of MCOMs, the attackers actually have the height advantage because the first set of MCOMs is down in that little village. Then the second set, it flip-flops. The defenders have the height advantage. But if you look right here, this east-west road, now I'm not too much higher than them, but I'm high enough that them trying to duck down behind the berm of this road is completely negated by where I'm positioning myself. So remember this wall. Now also be mindful that this wall can easily be destroyed. It is destructible cover, but it's extremely useful. The one downside to it is I can't see what's coming towards me. That's where a tugs would be nice. You set a tugs down right next to that wall. That way you can see what's coming towards me. Like this guy, I had no idea he was there. The first set of MCOMs on Gulmud Railway, the attackers, again, have the height advantage. The second set, as you see here, the attackers have the height advantage. And the third and final set, which takes place in that little more, it's not really a city, but there's a lot of taller buildings. You don't necessarily have a height advantage in the topography of the ground, not as much as you do in the first two sets, but artificial height through second-story building windows and rooftops. So the attackers really do kind of get the shaft on this map. It's still surprisingly a well-balanced map for Rush. It's a lot of fun. As you can see, we're not winning. I mean, they just took our last MCOM. We now have to fall back. Now right here, instead of falling back, this is not really smart gameplay on my part. Instead of falling back, I decided to kind of be a thorn in the enemy's side. What would have been smarter here would be if I had switched over to a suppressed LMG. That way I would have a little bit longer range, a little bit heavier punch, and a longer time before having to reload. I only get a handful of kills here, maybe even just two, before I'm finally discovered and they gun me down. Now, okay, my mistake. I got one kill and then I got a assist that counts as a kill. So me standing right there really wasn't advantageous at all. The only thing it did was it slowed down the enemy team very minutely, so they had to turn around and deal with me. But if I would have set myself up with an LMG, I would have been able to make a nice mess of things for the enemy posting up behind that rock. Now right here, or in a couple of minutes, excuse me, you're going to see how I use, again, height to my advantage, using these rooftops and using these second story windows. And right there, if you look at that, 0 health. There's actually a couple of times in this video. This time right here, and then once before, if you roll the video back a little bit on that last set of MCOMs, you'll see I get killed by another guy who has 0 health. Battlefield 4 is by far not a fixed game. It still has a long way to go. Regardless of that, though, I'm still thoroughly enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun with this game. But this part right here, this is an excellent vantage point because I have a nice field of view for this side of the battlefield. Now, if I can trust my friendlies to keep track on the other side of the battlefield, this is an excellent view of what would normally be considered a decent flanking route. You've got a lot of cover as an attacker. All you really have to do is cross that road that's right there on my crosshairs, like that guy's trying. You have to cross that road, then you have to cross this area right here. But other than that, you've got 3 areas where you can use buildings as cover. The buildings to the left, the center, and the right both have second stories and roof access, so you can use those. If you get a longer range weapon, say a DMR with a, an ACOG or something, or a sniper rifle with a 6x scope, you can pick off the defenders that are defending this area. But I'm able to hold them back pretty well, and this might get into that fine line of, well, is this defending or is this camping? And there's a whole slew of videos people could do talking about that, and I actually have one that I'm planning on putting out, kind of the difference between camping an area and defending an area, because there is a very, very thin line, and just the long and the short of it is, right here I'm defending an objective and I'm constantly moving. I just happen to be in a very advantageous spot. Now, if I was just laying prone in one of these random buildings, hoping that a bad guy runs in front of me and I can shoot him in the back, that's really more of kind of a dirty camping trick. But right here, this is a perfectly legitimate tactic because I'm actually holding the MCOM down. As you can see, it's right, or it was right below me, and it's difficult for the enemy team to root you out. An easy way, what I would have done if I had been an attacker, is I would have used explosives. I would have mortared the ever-living crap out of that building and brought it down, or used RPGs to bring it down. If I could get in closer, use C4 to bring that building down and try to negate some of that height advantage that the defenders have. Right here, I was kind of getting bored in that stairwell, so I just kind of pushed out to see what I could see. This is a complete fail on my part. I saw that guy and I thought that he was going to run around the rock down to the left there, but he stayed right where he was. He peeked the rock and gunned me down, so that was excellent awareness on his part, and I just kind of stood there in the open waiting for him to come around the rock. So that was a fail on my part. Here we're back near the Bravo MCOM after a respawn, and I know that there are bad guys over there because one of them just killed me, so I'm going to get back into this advantageous spot. Again, height is key, especially if the enemy is out in the open. Right here, as you can see, they're using this berm to try to peek this area, and I don't really have much of a height advantage here on this second story, but if I go to the rooftop, all of a sudden my height advantage is almost doubled, and I'm able to shoot over cover and negate the effectiveness of that cover for the enemy. Well, guys, that about wraps it up for this Gulmud Railway Rush Afterthoughts video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, hit the like button. It's kind of helping me. I also want to thank all of my subscribers. I'm up to about 130 now, I think, and I've only been doing this since November 5th of last year, so 90 days, and I've picked up about 130 subscribers. So I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate the support. I read all the comments that I get, and I try to respond to the ones that warrant responses, and I do try to make videos in the interests of you guys. If you guys have some interests that you might like to see, I try to make videos that are in that vein to keep you guys interested. So please keep the comments and suggestions coming, because I'm new to this YouTube thing, and like I said, the whole goal of this channel is for all of us to get better at the game. I am by no means a professional, but I try hard, I have fun, I love to play, and PTFO, and I love to get together with Battlelog friends and just have some goofy times. But anyway, guys, thanks for the support again. I really appreciate it. My name's Dead Winter Dead. Thanks for watching.